All right, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Yeah? All right, so my name is Hans. I'm going to be a pilot. First question, well, first of all, welcome on board. Did you all get a chance to watch the safety video? And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Sweet. You got microphones you're going to be sharing with the person right next to you. Hold it close to your mouth, press the button, and speak up. All right? I will be shutting those off on takeoff and landing just for safety reasons. And then the belts low and snug, and a big twist if you have to undo them. All right? I will talk in the air. Enjoy the takeoff.
You may hear angels cheer, 'cause we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the words and we'll feed the birds down to Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly, let's fly. Pack up, let's fly away.
Got it, you got it. This transmission is coming to you. This transmission is coming to you. You've got it, you got it. You've got it, you got it. You've got it, you got it. All right, you are go. You got it, you got it. All right, you are go. Go. Now we see the Earth. You got it, you got it. Now we see the Earth now. You got it, you got it. Now we see the Earth. You got it, you got it. Now we see the Earth now. All right.
How's everybody doing? Are we all breathing? Yep, good. Perfect. What a view, huh? Yeah. From here we can see 4 volcanoes actually. But before we go any further, see all this lava here that we just are overflying? Well, it reaches all the way to the ocean, huh? Some of the resorts are built on top of it. That all comes from Mauna Loa, which is at about 2 o'clock there. 1859. Was the eruption, and it was a pretty big one actually, because that's 40 miles, that distance, and it only took 3 days to reach the ocean. Yeah.
You got it. You got it. You got it. Got it. Got it.
So, well, let's start on the right side. Let's look there. That volcano out there is called Hualalai. That is right above Kona, pretty much. So, do you remember when you flew into Kona, you saw that lava around the airport? And if you're staying at Kona, maybe you saw that lava around the beaches too. That's all from the 1801 eruption. Now, anything before 1800 has no records. They started recording at 1800. 1801, that's over 200 years, so she is way overdue. Yeah. We used to say that about Mauna Loa too, and then, you know, she got her thing in November last year. But Hualalai definitely waiting for her. Let's go all the way now to the left. And that is Kohala. Kohala is extinct. So last eruption was 120,000 years ago. Hence why we have all these beautiful valleys now. Erosion did its thing. That is going to be the end of our tour. Towards the end of our tour. And we're going to do a big loop. We're going to go here through the saddle, up to Mauna Loa, as far as we can go, over it, go see Kilauea, and then Hilo. We're going to do a little pit stop there, and then from there we're going to go all the way to the valleys. That's the plan. Now the plan is always determined by the weather and your fuel. Just letting you know. All right, right in front of us, the famous Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea means a white mountain. Well, not in the summer. In the summer there's no snow. Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain in the world. So she's 13,800 feet above the water, but then 18,000 underwater, and that's why she's the tallest. Last eruption 4,600 years ago. So she's not extinct, but she's sleeping, deep sleep. And then we have Mauna Loa, who is only actually a couple of hundred feet lower than Mauna Kea. Mauna Loa means long mountain. So she's 70 miles long by 30 miles wide, right? But the most impressive part is that she's the biggest one in volume. So just take the Sierra Nevada mountains, add the Appalachians to it, times 1.5 in one single mountain. And she's so young too, so every eruption she gets just a little bit bigger. Are you guys cool? A little too cold? You good? Yeah. So we're about to overfly here the highway, the 190, because that's a Waimea there on the right, on the left side, sorry, and then it goes all the way to Kona on the right. And there on the right too, you see that T-junction? That is Saddle Road. So if you want to go to Hilo, that would be the shortest way to go there. There's two other ways to go. You either take South Point, which makes it a lot longer, but very enjoyable, because you're going to pass all the coffee farms first. Then South Point, you're going to go to Black Sand Beach, Green Sand Beach, end up at Kilauea, at Volcanic National Park. You can even stop between there and Hilo. You can stop at the orchid farm, beautiful orchid farm, and then Hilo. And then you can continue Hilo north to Honoka'a, stop at Akaka Waterfalls if you like, and then Waimea and back here. That's the big loop.
Is the new saddle road the same as the old saddle road, or was it built on a different path?
Do you know if the new saddle road was built where the old saddle road was built, in the same spot or in a different spot?
It's a different spot. Yeah, you'll see the old one here in front of us. It came more from the left, and then it cut over to, it joins where they are now though, a little bit further up in the saddle. So for those who don't know, the saddle is the part between Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. But as you notice, I'm not flying in this big space there in the middle, right? And that's because that's a restricted area. It's military training grounds. So we don't have any troops on the island, but they do come in to do their training. And here in a minute, I'm going to get in touch with the tower, and I'll be right back after that. So yeah, once in a while, if you ask me a question, I'm not responding. It's not like I fell asleep or something, but I just couldn't hear you. I got quite a few radios going off sometimes, so just ask me your question again if you don't mind. And we're in. So it's a good sign.
What is our current speed?
We are doing about 140 miles per hour. Yeah. Do you see those little mountains around us here? Those are vents or cinecones. They're part of the volcano. These belong all to Mauna Kea. So at one point, I call them pressure relief valves. So when there's a little bit too much pressure underneath, it just pops up. Some lava comes out, builds up this little mound. Locally, they're called pu'u. Now look at Mauna Loa. You see the shape she has? Now, that would probably not be the shape you would draw on a piece of paper if somebody asked you to draw a volcano, right? And they look like a shield, and that's where the name comes from, shield volcanoes. So the opposite would be a volcano like Mount St. Helens. And those are like most volcanoes around this, the Circle of Fire. Those are like Mount St. Helens. Gray volcanoes, they call them too. These are called red volcanoes. Gray because when they explode, or when they erupt, it's a lot of gas and ashes coming loose, and it's because the tectonic plates collide with each other, creating so much pressure. Here, they're the opposite. The tectonic plates move away from each other, leaving space for magma to come up. Eruption, lava comes out and builds up another layer. Now, to the south of here, we have a huge hotspot. And a hotspot is an area on the Earth where the liquid Earth comes really close to the surface. That's a hotspot. So the tectonic plates move away. And just the life cycle is the bottom of the ocean, a fissure, so a crack opens. Lava comes out, builds up a little mound. The mound gets bigger over the millions of years until it reaches a point where it emerges from the water. There's your island. With time, it erodes back down, and it goes back underwater, right? Now, if you look at the Hawaiian Islands, they're all in an axis of northwest to southeast. So in other words, the tectonic plate is moving to the northwest. So, Kauai, Oahu, all these places used to be around here somewhere, in one shape or another. Could have been an island already, or maybe it was still a mount at that time. Currently, we have two new seamounts. They're about 3,000 feet underwater. And for those to emerge one day, it's going to take another 250,000 years. So, still got a bit of time for that. Yep. Not in our lifetime. This is where the troops stay when they come and do their training. Yeah. They're not stationed here.
Are the cracks from erosion?
Yep, that's just water, making little valleys. You're going to see that on the other side of the mountain too, towards Hilo, where there's a lot more rain. Those valleys get a little bit bigger. The tallest waterfall we have on that side is about 400 feet. That's the Akaka waterfall. Yeah. But that's how it starts here. Now, to explain a little bit what we're going to do, once we're released here from the tower, we're going to go towards Mauna Loa and look at the 22 flow from November. And then we're going to go over the rift. Does anybody know what a rift line is? No? So let's just cut Mauna Loa in half. Side view. The way the lava behaves or moves is I compare it with a tree. So the roots is in the magma chamber. Then you have the vertical, or the trunk, the vertical lava tube, all the way to the crown of the tree, which is the caldera. Now, shield volcanoes also have branches, horizontal lava tubes. In the case of Mauna Loa, there's two of them. One to the northeast and one to the southwest. All the eruptions pretty much happen along those rift lines. So from those horizontal lava tubes, the lava makes its way up with the pressure, creates a fissure, a crack along the rift line, and then lava comes out. You can have geysers up to 3,000 feet sometimes. That's how much lava can come out. And then with gravity, it just flows down. So we're going to go up on the rift, and you're going to see some of those fissures. Yeah. For example, the 22 flow was fissure number 3.
How many years does it take for the vegetation to grow on the lava?
That's a good question, but it all depends on where it is, what the environment is. Sometimes it can take 50 years, sometimes it can get a lot more, sometimes less. We'll see on the way, probably, this towards Hilo, where they get a lot more rain. Some of it, like the 1942, is already a green lava flow. It's completely covered already. The one next to it is a 1984, still completely gray. So it kind of depends, and here you can see there's no vegetation really growing on it. And some of it are here from the early 1800s, so. Alright, so, Saddle Road, if you look here to the left, the T-junction, that's the access road all the way to the summit of Mauna Kea. And then here, look at the island there. That part that didn't get hit by lava. There's a little fence line just above that. Follow it to the left, and suddenly it stops. That is the tip of the 22 flow.
Would you describe that one more time, please?
You see that little island there? Just with one tree, right? There's a fence line just above it. Follow that line to the left, and then it gets destroyed there, and you'll see the lava, the tip of the lava. Now, what I'll do, so you can see it too, is we're going to do a couple of S-turns around it, going up, and so both sides will see it. Also, the other thing is that it destroyed 2 access roads. The one that's going to that little white building there in the distance at about 2 o'clock, that's an observatory. And then there's one at 12 o'clock higher, that's the second access road. That's another observatory, and that road continues to the summit. Both of those roads got destroyed. So right here on the left, this is the whole flow up to fissure number 3. Yeah. Now you can also see the color difference, right? So there's 2 different types of lava flow. There's actually a third one, but we're not going to really mention that one. That's the one on the water. Here we got the 22 flow, that black, thick, rocky, right? That is called A'a. And A'a is a very fast flowing, low temperature, about 1,000 degrees usually. And then the gray on either side is called Pahoehoe. It's got a little bit of a shiny part on top of it. Pahoehoe is liquid, very liquid. And so that means high temperature. High temperature over 2,000 degrees, you get a glass film on top. Yeah. Those are the 2 types. The red color that you can see could be either one of the 2. It's just the iron content in the lava that oxidizes. Pretty much rust. Yeah, you see the road is destroyed here, and then the fence line too. Moment where I like to point out how lucky we are to get we could get to see this, which is almost like a flashback, right? All the way to millions of years ago. That's how the Earth used to look like. And then we have this little white dome. It was actually a reminder of the future, maybe. This white dome is called the Mars Dome. And the Mars Dome is exactly what that is. People are training in there to live on Mars. And there are about 6 of them in there, staying up to a year, unless there's an eruption, then they get out of there, right? Or cabin fever. Let me just go here a little bit to the left. I like the fact that they build it on the red lava too, to make it as authentic as possible.
About being extinct, like how many years does it take for it to be officially extinct?
There is no set rules on that, at least not that I know of. I think they look at the bigger picture, not just the age, but the potential, and that's why even with 4,600 years, you would think, you know, that's a long time, but they're not considering it extinct, so there might still be a chance.
Are there any plans that they've talked about to rebuild the roads?
Not that I know of. It does take a little while before it completely cools down. Again, depending on the environment, really, you know, the temperature and all that. But there's some standard rules that they use just to have an idea. It takes about 130 days to cool it down to about 200 degrees, if it's and because the crust is a very good insulator. So between 0 and 50 feet thickness, it takes from 6 months to a year and a half to cool down completely to ambient temperature. If it's 50 feet to about 100 feet, they calculate about 2.5 years to 6 years. And so that is the first requirement, right? And then I've also heard that it's not cheap to rebuild a road up here. So budget will be another issue on that. So we're almost here on the top of the rift, the northeast rift. So if you look to the left and the right, especially the right, you follow up to the summit, you'll see all these fissures. Even here to the right already, these are all fissures. So at one point there was a lot of lava coming out of these. Clouds here and all this all came up in the last 20 minutes, because when we checked the cameras there was nothing. So when Captain Cook came here the first time, he was putting the island on the map, literally drawing the island on a map, and he drew it with 4 volcanoes. He couldn't find the 5th one. And can anybody see the 5th one right now? No, huh? That's why Captain Cook couldn't find it either. We're in a helicopter. It's right in front of us, because it's a big hole in the ground. Yeah. You see the fog actually coming out? That's the sulfur dioxide. So that's Kilauea, the most active volcano in the world. She stopped flowing this time on March 7th, and we're kind of waiting for her to come back. she's in yellow alert. She's on watch right now. And the way we know that something's brewing is the frequency of the earthquakes, increases. Right now, I think we're at about 20 to 25 earthquakes per day. And once we hit like 50 to 75, that's when we're really close. Yeah. The other thing, the other indication is called deformation, and that's when the mountain or the volcano starts bulging up. Now, of course, that's not visual to the eye. That is, the instruments pick up on that. And that is all. These earthquakes are very small, though, very deep. And what that is not, like I said, the difference with the Ring of Fire. It's not the tectonic plates that are crushing each other or colliding. It's actually the lava moving, being pushed through the lava tubes. Yeah, that's what you hear. Make sure you clear your ears because we're going to be descending. We went over 10,000 feet earlier, and now we're going to go down to about 5,000. So I'm going to go to the right there, do left turns, and do back and forwards so both sides can see.
Golf course over there on the at 10 o'clock? Is that a golf course or something else?
No, that's a little town called Volcano, actually. Yeah, it's just a park. It's all part of Volcano National Park. So Volcano is the town, and then right across to the right up there, that's the visitor center. So I don't know if anybody had a chance to come by here yet or is planning on it. The visitor center is definitely worth it. Really good information in there. Not just about the volcano, but about the island too. And the right underneath us here, this is this triangle here. This is a ranch. It's called Lacey Ranch. Now, if you look at the caldera, which is called Halemaumau, is, you see the first stage down, the flat part, that is all pre-2018. 2018, there is a big vent a little further down the chain of craters there that we most likely are going to see. That vent, Pu'o'o was the name, collapsed. All the lava went down over a couple of weeks. And that was in March 2018. Then beginning of April, the caldera starts collapsing too. Do you remember the tree that I was talking about? The trunk stopped pushing lava up. So now we have this massive void with this weight on top. And it just dropped down over a period of, well, until August pretty much. It dropped down about 1,500 feet. And that's what we have now. On the left there, you can see a building here on the edge. That's a Jagger Museum. They had to close doors. With the earthquakes and the collapse, the grounds became so unstable. And then up until March, the eruptions or the fountains of lava were inside the inner caldera. Yeah, there was 3 of them. Actually, where you see the smoke coming out of the ground. Those were the 3 fountains. also you can see the road, and then it's gone. And then it comes back. And that chunk is laying about 1,000 feet lower.
How close do the helicopters get when there's an eruption?
It depends on the severity of the eruption, the intensity of it, and then we get a flight restriction, usually about 1,500 feet above the ground. I'm going to come out a little bit and then do a left reversal here. Yeah, we're going to follow that road down in a minute there. That's the chain of craters to the right, which is on top of the rift line, which is the east rift of Kilauea.
Excuse me. I see striations there in the side of Halemaumau, just like you see striations in like places like the Grand Canyon.
1 second, sorry, sir. Yeah, exactly. And I actually flew a little bit slower too. Sorry guys, I was just talking to the other pilot, just passing me here. Go ahead, sir. Would you mind asking me again?
On the side of Halemaumau, I saw striations of different layers. Not all uniform.
You mean on the layers of the ground, right?
As it slopes up there, where you can see areas that are striated.
Yeah, it all depends because yeah, because not everything was built up the same way. So I'm assuming that with the different layers over the, I don't know how many years, right? And then because you can see a lot of more, I think it's probably more phosphor there on the, or sulfur on the right side too. So they're just different layers, and probably of the age. You can see the age too, right? So that's what I'm assuming. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. then we're going to start going down the chain. How are we feeling? Good? All right, let's go and see Mauna Ulu. We're going to go down the crater, the chain of craters. So if you come here with the car, then you can drive down from the visitor center all the way to the beach, and then you'll pass all these craters here. But then again, you can see them from up here too now. So we're going to see a couple of craters, a couple of sinkholes, and on our way to the first eruption site there.
Does a lava flow ever expose anything that people would consider a valuable metal?
That's a good question. Right now, besides, I don't think they're mining here. No, not that I know of. So no, I don't think so. Or they haven't, maybe they haven't spent the time or research yet to find some, you know, gold or whatever they're looking for. Yeah. Something has to come up, right? Because we know there's iron, but what quantity? Is it worth it to, you know, invest? And don't forget, you still have the Hawaiians, which I believe have an amazing mindset of, it's not ours, don't touch it. You know, this is the goddess they gave, well, that's their belief. You know, they gave, that's why they had a lot of arguments in the 40s when the eruption went towards Hilo. And so, I'm not going to say half the population, but there was a group of the population that wanted the government to step in and change the route, find a way to change the route of the lava because it was about to destroy Hilo. And then the other group was like, you're not going to touch anything. This is the earth. This is, you know, the goddess deciding where she wants to go. And in 1942, the government stepped in and dropped bombs on it, on the lava flow. And the lava just stopped. It never did anything, you know. The lava just stopped. And then in 1984, they had the same issue, and then the other group won, and they didn't touch it, and it stopped too, about 4 miles short of Hilo. All right, here we go. Mauna Ulu, 1969 to 1974. So here we are about 1,500 feet above the ground. Add another 500 feet. That's how high the fountain of lava was. I'll just turn around here so you can see it on the other side too.
Nice places, Maui. Maui no ka oi. La Bishop Museum no ka ai. Ow.
There's some great pictures if anybody's interested on U.S. geological site, which is a site we use all the time to figure out if the clouds, how low the clouds are. So yeah, the geological site has all these pictures. We use it, you know, to get information. Like I said, the cameras show what's happening in the caldera, but it also shows the weather around it. So. There she is in front of us. That's the vent, or Pu'u'o'o, the most active vent ever. She was active for 35 years. Started in 1983, then 2018, like I said, it collapsed. And then all that lava was pushed through to a little village further down the rift called Leilani Estates. So I don't know if you remember seeing the videos from the news in 2018 of lava going through the streets. That was that place. So just imagine walking your dog in the morning and next thing you know the road cracks open, lava comes out. That would be one fissure. Within a couple of hours they had over 20 fissures around this town. Some people had to be flown out because they were just completely surrounded by liquid lava. And the most active fissure down there, fissure number 8, gave us 700 new acres of land, yep, on this island. So pretty intense.
No make noise laugh.
It's a good YouTube video about the collapse. They made a time lapse and you can see the lava lake actually just go down. Of course, over a period of time, but it's quite impressive. It came to the ridge, completely filled with lava, and now it's just deep down.
There's no place I'd rather be. Lingering in the ocean blue. I surf till the sunset beyond the horizon. Flying by on the Hawai'i roller coaster ride. Ah, Miki Miki Mairo Hirohi. Speaking na la 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 la. La 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 ika la hana hana. Hey hey mai tahu hey. There's no place to rest me. On golden sand is where I live. I play till the sunset beyond the horizon. It's time to try the Hawaiian roller coaster ride. Hang loose, hang thin, hustle, shake a sucker. No way, no free, ain't no biggie brother. Cutting in, cutting up, cutting back, cutting out. Right side, left side, put it right out. Let's get jumping, steps up, pumping, roasting with the motion of the ocean. Whirlpool swirling, cascading, whirling.
Now we're heading towards Hilo. We're going to get a little fuel. So I'm going to get on the tower here pretty soon. So I might actually shut off the microphones just to be on the safe side. I might tell you a few things, but it's good for me to be able to hear the tower. Any questions before I shut you off? No? Wonderful. So when we land, we're going to go into the terminal. If you need to use the bathroom, please go stand in line right away, because we're not going to be down there very long, and sometimes there's a line. There's only 2 bathrooms, so just want to make sure you guys know that. All right, enjoy the music, and we'll be talking pretty shortly.
Cold.
Do you see those big squares here? Well, they're actually rectangulars. The squares are over there. This is all the Mauna Loa macadamia nut company. Yeah. And the squares are made by taller trees to stop the wind. He's probably going to Honolulu. So this is the Hamakua Coast, also used to be called the Sugar Coast, because all this was sugarcane before. It's about 40 miles long, this whole stretch. But then they closed, the last sugar mill closed it in 1996. They couldn't compete anymore. After Hawaii became a state, they introduced the minimum wage. So the prices went up and they couldn't compete anymore. So that's what drew most of the immigrants to the island back then. So as you can see, they get a little bit more rain than on the other side of the island. We, at the base there, we get about 10 inches per year. Here we're looking at 200 to 350 inches per year. with the record set at 200 inches in 90 days.
That's a lot of rain.
And that's why out of the 13 existing climates on this planet, we have 11 of them on this island. Yeah.
We've been lost down here for days. Don't worry, we'll be fine if we just wait. Let's try to relate. In our own world, we'll be okay. Oh yeah. The clock ticks faster on these days, yeah. And ticking talks away. Can the ground shake? Let's try to relate. In a bright world, we'll be okay. Whoa, yeah. We'll be under the moonlight.
Yeah, you're going to see this all morning pretty much. If you look out there too, all that rain, those little rain showers. Yeah, it's actually really nice here compared to where it's on the west side of Maui. Yeah, there's some serious weather coming in.
Or is this a dream? Whoa, yeah.
So here you start seeing the valleys already, huh? So little smaller valleys, little waterfalls up higher. Let me go maybe a little higher so you can see them better. This is actually where Akaka Waterfall is. It's right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of hard because it's raining just before in front of it too. But yeah, that's about a 25-minute drive out of Hilo. Yeah. You can drive right next to the waterfall. So that's about 400 feet. If you take the drive up north, this is Maulua Gulch there, and then you go, see this forest here on the left? You'll see plenty of those. Those are eucalyptus trees. So after the sugar business was done, they planted those trees because they wanted to go into the paper business. Not a great idea. There are a lot of issue with fungi in the beginning, and the same thing, they couldn't compete. Yep. So gradually they're cutting those forests away. And, used to be a train too, around the island, a long time ago, and the tracks are gone. Some stations are still left, and then there's a museum in Poilo, a little bit further up, a little museum. But if you want to know more about the sugar business and more an impact it had, Honoka'a, the last town before the highway cuts over to Waimea, there's a good museum there. So this is called Lapahoihoi Point here. The point was sticking out much further, but in 1946, a tsunami destroyed this whole area here.
Thank you. This is the island with Waipio Valley, isn't it?
Say that again, sorry?
This is the island that has Waipio Valley, isn't it?
No, yeah.
Are we going to see that?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the first valley that we're going to encounter once we come close to the valleys. You can actually see in front of you there, you see how the cliffs are much higher, about 1,500 feet on average. Yeah, here there's about 200 to 400, not more than that. Five to 10 minutes maximum, and we'll be in the valleys.
And what was the name of that bay, Kealakekua Bay? Have we passed that, or are we going to see Kealakekua Bay where Captain Cook was?
Oh, that's on the other side of the island. Yeah, that's south of Kona. Yeah, that is, we don't fly that direction. Yeah. We just chose to do the volcanoes, and then because with the capacity of the helicopter and the tour, interest, it's something that we just not focus on the southwest side. Yeah. Are you staying in Kona, or? Yeah? Yeah, it's not such a far of a drive if you want to go and visit that part. You're going to love those valleys. If you love this already, you're going to love those, that's for sure. The water is very calm right now than what it usually is. That's why you don't see boats. Well, second of all, there's no room to put the boats on the island. The marinas are full. And so you have a waiting list of years, I think, right now. But usually we have the northeast trade winds, and they pound this coastline out, as you can see, with the way it looks. Holly and Brian, I know you're sitting on the ocean side. Now, in the season, it's fun because you could be on whale watch, but we're even outside the season. So I'll make it up once we get to the valleys. When the weather permits, usually I fly over the land so both sides can see. But now with the clouds, it's just safer to be down here. So. town of Poilo here. Poilo, and then Honoka'a is the next one. That's a little bit bigger. You see a little glimpse of Maui out there. You see it in between the clouds? Yeah, the black part. So that channel in between the islands is 26 miles. Yeah. Today would be a good day to go by boat. Other days, I wouldn't recommend it so much because the weather really, the wind gets squashed between the two islands and accelerates. That's why one of the wind farms is at the north point.
Would you have the fuel capacity to fly the channel and get to Maui?
Yeah, absolutely. Now with people on board, there's more weight, so less fuel. But our main maintenance hangar is in Maui. And so very often we fly, when we have to replace engines and all that, then we go all the way to Maui. Yeah. It's not that far, it's like a 40, 45 minute flight. Yeah.
Will you
there's the first valley. This is Waipio. So this is the King's Valley. And all the kings used to live there. And now, at the peak, about 20, 30,000 people in that valley. Now only a couple of hundred. And they used to give you a permit to go in there by yourself, but not anymore. So about a year and a half ago, they stopped doing that. So the only way to come and visit is either organized group, or you get invited by somebody locally.
Why do you think the kings like to be down in the valley?
I think it's probably a tradition because, North Kohala, like King Kamehameha was king here, and then all the other kings before him were king here too, of North Kohala. Because the island was not always unified. And there was a lot of war between, the different sides of the island. And so this is a pretty good protected area. What you're going to notice is some of the waterfalls are dry now, because they all depend on rainwater only. There's no snow up here or nothing. So not all of them are dry, of course, but some of them will be a little drier than others. Alright, let's go into Waimanu. So that first waterfall right there is Wai'ilikahi, and that one is 1,500 feet high. I'll just make a little S-turn in front of it so we can all see it. Hole, which is the part there in the back, those are 2,600 feet high. We still have two waterfalls here on the right, but I'll do like a nice loop in it and come back out.
What was the name of that valley?
I got you inside, no worries. This is one of our landing sites here. Actually, one of my colleagues is down there. That's 900 feet, that waterfall.
What was the name of that valley?
The valley? Waimanu. Yeah.
When you were saying that they were landed over there, is that where the big spectacular wood landing is?
Yeah, one of them, yeah. We have another one which is a smaller waterfall, but yeah, it looks a little different, but that's the big one. That's Lapahoihoi Nui. These are the Makapuka rocks. I'm going to make a big loop here so we can let you guys have a look at the fountains here too. This is Honopue, this valley here. I'm just going to drop down and do the reversal here.
Is this all owned by the state or Bureau of Land Management, or who owns all of this land?
This is all private, and only Hawaiians. Thank God. Sorry, did I say that out loud? But that's why it's so untouched. They're not going to sell their land because it's their ancestry. So for example, the landing spot that we have here, right? This whole section is owned by 10 families, and so we had to deal with them. That were the only ones landing there, and when they need something. But one of them lives right here, like underneath us. See that? And they grow their own food, and he lives completely off the grid. Yeah, and then he maintains, the grass field there where we can land. He feeds us sometimes. Yeah, it's wonderful. Got a good relationship with them.
May it be when
helicopter go backwards if you need to? Can you
No,
back
absolutely.
up?
Yep. Absolutely. The control's pretty much the cyclic, the one on my right hand here. You need to look at the blades as a disc. Wherever I point the disc at, that's where I'm going. So I can go backwards, sideways, forward. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Of course, there's a speed limit on it. You can't go backwards too fast because you're going to start reaching the limits, and your tail is a big sail. So the wind will take it. We call that weathercocking. Yeah. So if you would drive around the north part of the island, this is where the highway stops at the last valley there, Pololu. You can park your car there, and that's the only spot that you can actually hike down to the beach. Yeah. It's about 20 minutes. Do not go on your flip-flops. Just a piece of advice. It's a lot steeper than you think. But it's great. You can get a different feel for it, right? And we're going to go in here in Lapahoihoi, Honokane Nui it's called, this one here. See how far we can go inside. It might get a little bumpy, just because the wind is coming over these hills here, and then falls down into the valley, giving us little eddy currents, but it's fine, you know, I wouldn't worry too much about it. So these valleys all used to be inhabited, and the way the Hawaiians moved from one valley to the next was they cut out in some parts trails into the side of the mountain. Now once you pass this point here on the left side, you'll see some of those trails. They're overgrown now, nobody uses those anymore. And so some of the families that own these parts might have like a vacation home somewhere, but the only way to come in here is either they hike for almost a day to get to it, which they're most likely not doing, or they fly in. They just charter a helicopter. You can see this is the trail already, and then you see some trails there, and then zigzagging down. You'll see it on the way out too. I'm just going to go into the east branch here. Yeah, it might be a little rain.
kind of wildlife do you think you'd find in those valleys?
Some of them have some wild boar. Yeah. And beside insects and lizards, that's about it. Yeah. I don't think the goat will have cattle up here. But like wild goats and wild sheep, they're not down in the valleys, just the boar. So this is already all ranch land here. Yeah, that's the most northern part of the island there. The little town is Hawi, and then Maui is right across, you can see it.
Kamehameha's birthplace is over there.
Yep.
That tip.
Yeah. There's a nice museum. It's the next town from Hawi. I'm trying to remember. Kapa'au. That's the name. So Hawi first, and then Kapa'au is the next one before you reach Pololu Valley. The big statue, you can't miss it. This we call here riders. If you come and ride some horses, this is usually the ranch you come to.
Do you know about when they gave that land, those valleys, back to the Hawaiians?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you know about when they gave that land with all of those valleys back to the Hawaiians?
No idea. No. I didn't even know it wasn't always owned by the Hawaiians, so. And then here we have Kohala Ranch. This is more an upscale area here, where the big mansions are. So that's Kauai Harbor here. That was built in the 50s. You remember the training grounds? That's why they built it. to bring in the troops in and out. And back then they didn't check with the locals where to build it, so they built it right next to the most sacred spot on the island, which is called Pu'ukahala, the Mount of the Whale. So this is where King Kamehameha pretty much became king of the whole island. He was at war for many, many, many years with his cousin, the king from Ka'u, which is the southwest part of the island. And so one of his kahunas, his shaman, told him to build the heias here, the temples. You see the two rectangulars in black rock? So he built them there, and then he needed a human sacrifice on the beach, which turned out to be the king. Killed him on the beach, and so he became king of the whole island, setting in motion the whole unification of the islands. Now those heias, those temples, all that lava rock came from the valleys that we were just at. 10,000 men for about a year hand carried those. There we have the two pretty much most popular beaches, or famous beaches. Mauna Kea on the left, and then Hapuna Beach on the right side. Makes me laugh. I was seeing your sign language, and I'm like, you had a whole story here. All right, and there we have the Fairmont Orchid, is the first one, with the Mamalani next to it. Anybody staying here? This side? No? Over there? What about you guys?
We're at the Marriott.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at the end. See, the Mamalani is it's in the shape of an arrow. It's pointing at Tokyo, because the owner is Japanese. Yep. Ooh, there's some good swell coming in. So yeah, the Marriott is there at the end with Waikoloa Beach Resort. This is the Hilton.
Yeah, we're at the Hilton here.
Oh yeah? Nice. right, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I had a bit of a chat here with the other guys about the weather. We're done. We're not going there anymore for the rest of the day. It changed so rapidly in the last half hour. So lucky we did it, right? Yoo-hoo! All right, mahalo. Thanks for flying with us. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, and we'll be on the ground here in a few seconds, and I'll be shutting off the microphone. Thank you again.